Have you ever wondered how landscapers select the trees that they use in the landscape? Well, one method is that they send me or someone else to select the plants for them, or they select it themselves. But do they know what they're looking for? There is a lot to consider when selecting the tree. What is its purpose? Is it for a street tree, or is it for just a boundary planting? And there's some of the things that the nursery looks for when the landscaper asks for these trees. Does the council specify it has to be a street tree and meet the Australian standards? What is that? Well, that is an Australian standard that has been developed to basically create what a tree should look for. However, some of our Australian native trees do not conform to the standard and therefore are not relevant for the Australian standards, which is really important to remember. So when a landscaper comes here, they'll grab ribbons and things like that, like I do, and walk through the trees and assess them in terms of the shape, the height, the trunk, all the way down to the root system and the structure. Are the roots dispersed? Are they radiating out from the trunk? Do they have a strong root system? If there's any J roots or curling, they're a no-no tree to select. Nice trunk structure is also desired. But the reality with trees is that as they grow, slight little curves are eliminated as the tree grows older because you don't notice it. The trunk gets wider, fatter, and those little bumps and bends usually are not noticed. A significant bend, however, will stay in there. But in most cases, the selection is based on what it looks like, how strong it is, its root system, and obviously the trunk. A strong single leader is usually desired in most cases for a street tree. But if the plant is going to be at the back of a complex, back of a building, back of a construction site or a manufacturing factory, it doesn't need to conform to Australian standards. And you at the home, a home gardener, you might just want a tree that looks good. So a bit of bending is perfectly fine for your situation. So in my situation, selecting trees for landscapers, I'll go through a whole row, if not more rows, of trees to find the plant that would best suit the needs of the landscaper and obviously of the client. Will it look good in the ground? Will it look good as it grows? Will it achieve the objective that the landscaper is after? There are so many trees available that can meet the standards of a street tree or just a feature tree. Select the plant species suitable for what you are after. If it does not need Australian standards, do not ask for it because it's a lot of extra work and also will cost you more because the Australian certification needs a certificate, and that means an arborist report or a certification report to meet the Australian standard AS 2303 2018. So I better get to work, mark some trees for a landscaper, and hopefully the next time you buy a tree, it fits your criteria. It doesn't have to be AS 2303, it just needs to be a nice tree. So select the trees that you like.